How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. So today, I'm going to be talking about the Game Awards and two titles that were the most interesting to me, announcements, right? Congrats to Baldur's Gate 3, which pretty much swept the awards, deservingly so. I mean, it was this, I haven't played it, but everywhere you hear, it's like a 10 out of 10, outstanding RPG, set the standard going forward for what an RPG can be. And yeah, so kudos to them. Genuinely, they deserve it. Larian, from what I hear, is a fantastic studio that takes care of their customers, so all the power to them. But again, ultimately, the Game Awards were here, a bunch of announcements, right? That's probably the big thing most of us even tune in for. Sadly, nothing I was hoping for. Of course, being on the Xbox side, I was hoping we'd see id Software's the rumored Quake reboot, right, or whatever their next game is. Nothing. Elden Ring DLC was another one everyone was hopeful for. Nothing as well. Yeah, just a lot of stuff. Maybe it felt, oh, now would be a perfect time. Didn't happen. I'm not mad. I mean, of course, game development is a pretty, it's random, right? It's a volatile industry, so, dates get pushed back, that sort of thing. So it's understandable. But two games that caught my eye, with trade reveals, which were first world premieres. Now, I will admit, again, being an Xbox player, they maybe are more geared towards that. But nonetheless, so the first one was the rumored Hideo Kojima Xbox exclusive game that we're getting. It finally got revealed. The title's literally OD, like just those two letters. And yeah, the trailer didn't give much, just showed us like characters almost like reciting something, whether it's like a memory of like a dialogue, and it was more of a reveal of like the actors that are gonna be in this new game, and it was like them reciting stuff, but over time, you see them like they don't remember it as well, that sort of thing. That's really all I can say. It was just a teaser, right? But we do know he is working with Jordan Peele, so that's like, interesting. Of course, Jordan's been on a tear, right, in the horror space, like movies. Of course, with this hit, like Get Out, Nope, all that sort of thing, right? Like he's really done a good job, us, from transitioning, from like his Key and Peele like comedy to now being a director and focusing on horror. I mean, hey, the guy knows what he's doing, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a shame, honestly, going back to PT and just that whole debacle, right? Where it that game again, Kojima was in charge, and it was meant to be Silent Hills, right? A proper Silent Hill sequel, which we are getting in the form, I think, of Silent Hill P. But I don't know, that series, Konami is just notorious, one of the worst companies out there for what they do with their IPs. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate what happened there. That was one of the reasons in like Metal Gear 5, that Kojima left Konami, right? That now he did his own thing. Of course, he was able to work with PlayStation again for Death Stranding. We are getting a sequel to that, but in a weird way, I'm not saying they're related, but it does seem to have a horror tone. So it's like we are getting that Kojima horror game, or a version of that, I should probably say, with this OD, which again, Jordan Peele's involved. So we'll see. I mean, we're gonna find out more. But it's just cool. I mean, whatever console you game on, it really doesn't matter. But competition is good. I guess in wrestling terms for the fans out there. It's like the WWE, you look at the Attitude Era, but then you had WCW, Nitro was on fire. It was literally the famous 83 weeks that the Nitro was beating them every time in the ratings. Like, competition, like, because of the NWO, we got the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the biggest star in the history of wrestling, and it's that golden age of, like, like you had options where like both of them were at the top of their game. And what I'm saying is like PlayStation has for the longest time with their AAA games been known as like the top dog, if you will, even though sometimes Nintendo does humble them because Mario games will sell like 5 times as much as any PlayStation exclusive, but regardless, they're widely seen as like the leader in the console space. It was really the Xbox One, Don Matrick, that ruined the Xbox brand, and they're still recovering even to this day. Now, of course, Game Pass is helping a lot of them buying all these studios, but it's nice to see that return of like, okay, Xbox is making it a point to be like, no, like we also can provide like these great, I'm assuming it'll be single player, we'll see, right? Of course we don't know much about this game, but it's just great to see Xbox investing in that and be like, no, like we're also a player in this, and competition brings the best out, because then PlayStation won't get complacent, which they've been criticized maybe in like the PS3 era, where it's like like it's like we don't have to try, we like, but now it's like your competition is stepping it up. Admittedly, Game Pass is like the best deal in gaming. No other whether Nintendo or Sony can really compete with that. Like the financials, like Microsoft being as big as it is can take the hit that maybe like go negative for a while, because eventually it'll grow and it's super profitable for them. So it's just good all around. Competition is good. So I'm very curious to see it. We know it's an Xbox Game Studio game, so I think it's safe to say, if it hasn't already been put out there, that it is Xbox exclusive. And then the other game that we have coming out too, they didn't announce it, but it is an Xbox owned studio, so Arcane. And before you comment Redfall and all that, there are two studios, right? Arcane Lyon, the French-based studio, and Arcane Austin. Austin made Redfall, but previously had made Prey, the 2017 game, which is highly regarded, underrated. A lot of people will tell you like a hidden gem, like it's a great game. Sadly, Redfall, what happened. But now we're getting another vampire themed game from Lyon, the studio that, just being honest, is probably considered the better of the two. They are the original Arcane, because it is a French-based company. This is a team behind the Dishonored series, or Deathloop, right? Which that game was even nominated for Game of the Year. That team, not Redfall, so make that distinction when you hear Arcane Studios. This team is making a Marvel game, Blade, which I was like, oh, the announcement alone, the crowd, like everybody was excited. I am too. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Of course, famously, Marvel and Sony, which helps that Sony, like not PlayStation, right? The parent, Sony, owns Spider-Man movie rights. They made the video game a PlayStation exclusive, and that's been doing really well for them. Spider-Man 2 and 1 were both, when they came out, have been nominated for Game of the Year. So, Insomniac does great things. They're also going to come out with a Wolverine game next, or eventually, probably next. And that also will be a PlayStation exclusive. So this announcement alone, almost, I have to admit, really gave a like Xbox being like, okay, like you have Spider-Man, cool. That one makes more sense again with the movie rights. Wolverine, it's like, okay, beloved character. Like, okay, we got Blade, which I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And I don't know if intentional, because I know these dealings happen years in advance, right? Like they've already been negotiating. It's almost poetic that Redfall, a vampire themed game, did really bad, right? Naturally. Like it was meant to be a big title and it just didn't deliver. And then now they're like, okay, we have a really bad vampire game, so let's get the better of the Arcane Studios and make a good one. I mean, Blade is such a beloved character, and we are getting a new official MCU Blade movie, right? And I don't know, that's very exciting. Blade as a character is always really cool. You know, I grew up with like the Wesley Snipes movies. You know, we all know the rave scene, right? Where they're all showering in blood and he walks in. We are getting the new movie with, I don't want to butcher his name, so I'll put his name here, with the new actor. And apparently, Marvel is looking at making it a little more gritty. I would hope R rated, but probably not, knowing them. But yeah, it's like a perfect tie-in. It's like, you know, the new movie, which I don't know when that's expected to come out, the new game. Now, the one thing I will say, again, that is a Bethesda studio, which is fully owned by Xbox, but this was just a reveal, but no mention of exclusivity, at least at the awards. I don't know if they've come out and said anything. So, is it open that this is a multi platform game? Yes, I will not rule that out. But if you just look at the track record of everything, I mean, unless you're a juggernaut of a game like Minecraft, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure sold more than like GTA. Just to put it in perspective, we know 5 got announced, broke the record for like most views in a day. But Minecraft is like a bigger game. So games like that, or Call of Duty, right? Just love them or hate them, they sell phenomenally. Those will always be multi platform naturally. Um, but anything smaller, even Starfield, which, regardless of your opinion, I did not play it. But how you feel about it was a big release for Xbox, and that became exclusive. So, by process of elimination, I have to imagine Marvel's Blade will be an Xbox console exclusive, which, again, it really helps that the new movie is coming out because you could tie it all in, and again, it just feels like a natural response. Like, um, Sony, they have Spider Man and Wolverine, they're going to, which are exclusive. Sure, they come to PC, but you understand what I mean, console wise. So now it's like, okay, Xbox is like, do that. We'll have this. I mean, Spider Man's always popular. Wolverine, he will be in Deadpool 3, but it's like the Hugh Jackman, the Fox universe one. So it's not like a MCU Wolverine, if you will. We probably will eventually see that. I know Marvel's kind of struggling as it is, like the Marvels, right? The like Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. That movie I know was like the lowest grossing MCU movie ever. Like it's pretty bad. So I know right now Disney as a whole is like scrambling. They're fixing everything. Um, so we'll see. I'm hoping the Blade movie is good, but just getting a game is like exciting. We know it's gonna take place in Paris, so again, they got home field advantage with Arcane Leon, who are based in France. So I don't know. Blade was honestly the unexpected like announcement that I was just like, oh, that's amazing. Again, I like horror. I like maybe the more characters with a little more darkness to them, maybe edginess if you want to call it that. So it's like Spider-Man. I'll give Sony that. I won't. The games look fantastic. Insomniac is a great team. I'm sure when Wolverine comes out, it'll be another Game of the Year nominated game. But it's like, hey, like Blade, he's pretty awesome, and I have to imagine it will be Xbox exclusive. But nonetheless, even if it's not, I'm pretty sure being a Xbox game studio, right, that they own them, it'll be day one on Game Pass. So even if it's multi-plat, you have the argument of pay $70 on Sony or maybe Switch. I doubt it would come out on that. Or, pay your Game Pass subscription. It's day one on there. So yeah, those were the two games that I found the most interesting, OD and Blade. Basically, 80% sure both Xbox exclusives. I mean, hey, I could be wrong, but yeah, what do you guys think? What was your favorite announcement? Did you feel like any game got robbed in the awards? But yeah, guys, let me know any games you are looking forward to. And hopefully next year we finally get that Quake reboot. Just id Software, what are you working on? It really seems like Xbox is ramping it up, especially with these announcements. OD, Blade, and then again, you give us a Quake reboot. Like, it's like they're finally putting out the, like, you could argue Sony's, like, standard of quality. They're finally matching that, so that's always great to see. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. If you like this type of content, I usually make videos twice a week. So please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.